we are Christian people, so we accept whatever God throw at us because we know that God allow things to happen for His glory. So at the moment of finding out, we were excited and optimistic, and then also going into pregnancy, childbirth. We had some challenges, but we always stood firm.
Yeah. Awesome. So tell me, what was there like an indication or some after this beautiful bouncing baby boy is born, what led you to even start to say,
Yeah, I
something?
know, and I know, Michelle's, you might not know the entire backstory, and I will share for your audience. So for me, and I kind of mentioned it a while ago, but it wasn't necessarily clear, but I will share with the audience. For me, for us, our pregnancy was sort of traumatic. My son was born preterm.
Mm-hmm.
He was born early because I had gestational diabetes and preeclampsia during that pregnancy, and it was my first pregnancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was in itself traumatic. I point this out. So my son is a miracle child for us, and he has continued to be a miracle. And against this backdrop, we found out the diagnosis. I share this because sometimes, especially when your child is newly diagnosed, you start to think, what did I do? There is guilt, there is confusion, there is worry, trying to pinpoint. And the fact is, the studies show that perfectly healthy pregnancies, the children that born from those can also be diagnosed, and then people who have challenges can have perfectly healthy children with no diagnosis. And so it really doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
how your pregnancy was, or if you were on drugs, or if you were sick, or if you were depressed, or any sort of variable. It doesn't contribute. Some people say the vaccination, a lot of misinformation and myths and incomplete stories are there that people use to say, okay, this is what causes the autism, or and none of it is true, or none of it is substantiated by empirical evidence. But I mention it because a lot of people are so guilt-ridden that they find blame. And for people who have to deal with this, they might find it in your family. Or maybe it's because you didn't exercise, or maybe you didn't eat right, or you were sick, or all these things, and none of it is true. So for us, my son, he was preterm, a lot of different issues. And so he was high risk, and they talked about different things that they were checking off to see if he was okay. And coincidentally, he passed everything with flying colors in his early months.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was discharged from high risk and from speculative care and all of these things that they were watching for. And um, so we thought everything was perfect. He looked good. He was very healthy and active and all of these things. So when we got to, I must also mention that he was the only child, the newest child and the only child in our immediate circles. So he was that first grandchild, first nephew, first. So I didn't have a background or experience to compare him with. But I
Mm-hmm.
did notice, now that I look in hindsight, that he didn't babble. He wasn't meeting certain communication milestones, but I was unaware. And